Welcome back to the Comics Experiment. My name is Benny, and that is Andy. And we're trying something new today. See if we can get a topic more on point with only two people, so me and one guest at a time. Today's topic is going to simply be, are they ruining Red Hood as a character? But if you're watching this episode live on Twitch, remember you can find it on Spotify, SoundCloud, and all of your favorite podcast outlets. And you can watch it live, well, not live, but you can watch the recording of it on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Comicstorian. Today's episode is brought to you by a couple of sponsors, and I've brought someone here, someone you may recognize, someone who likes a beanie, to tell you all about them.
It's me. I'm the guy that likes beanies. I also like HBO Max, who is also sponsoring today's episode, as well as Arcane, which is Riot's new Netflix series about the League of Legends characters. We'll tell you more in the middle of today's episode.
Thanks, Dan. It was good to see you. I haven't seen you in like 10 seconds. So seriously, guys, we wanted to try something a little different. If you guys prefer all three hosts on every show, even if one doesn't have much to say, please let us know in the comments down below. But we tried one with Dan, and now we're going to try one with Andy. So the topic of the day, Andy.
Yes, Ben.
is, are they using Red Hood too much, basically? Are they ruining him? So we all know Batman's in everything.
Yes.
But most other DC characters are not.
That is true, because Batman's in everything.
Batman is in everything.
Yeah, can't have everybody in everything.
Even if it's not a Batman-centric book, he shows
up just to wave.
Yeah. Hey, guys, this is DC.
Just in case you forgot.
So Red Hood has recently popped up in closing out his actual series, his one-off.
Yes.
Where it was just him in an ongoing series.
Right.
He showed up in the Three Jokers book.
Yes.
He then showed up
Which was really a Red Hood book.
Yeah, it was just basically a Red Hood
Batgirl book.
Hence why I'm using it, yeah.
Yeah.
He showed up in Chip Zdarsky's Urban Legend storyline where he gives up the guns.
Right.
He's now in Task Force Z.
Yes.
He's also in Titans United.
Okay.
He's also one of the main characters in Gotham Knights.
That is true.
He's also showed up in the Titans season 3, whatever run.
You forgot the other Suicide Squad book where he's leading the Suicide Squad, where they're not zombies.
Wait, he's leading them that one too?
Yeah, I think it's called Get Joker.
Oh.
It's the Black Label book.
Okay, so then he's also in a Black Label book now. So the question I have is, at what point are we going to get so much oversaturation with out-of-continuity Red Hood stuff?
Right.
That we're just at a point where it's like, you've ruined the character now. Somehow Batman has survived not getting ruined, being in everything. I don't know how that's happened up to this point, but it has. But other characters get put into way too many things, and you're kind of like, all right, I've had enough. Like, Marvel doesn't put Spider-Man in anything outside of the Spider-Man universe to avoid oversaturation.
No, that's not necessarily true. He doesn't always show up in the events or the Avengers books sometimes.
But
For a
even
while, he was Avenger.
But even with that, though, when he does show up, it's normally like, this is Spider-Man's
He literally
book in the King of
waves.
Black.
He's like, hey, guys, it's Spider-Man. Flippy, flippy.
But not, a lot of times he does.
Yeah.
Or he gets pinned immediately.
Yeah.
Well, I was here.
And it's just like he flips by and he's like, guys, over there. And then he flips away.
Remember, I'm Spider-Man, the biggest Marvel character. So what do you think? You're a fan of Red Hood as I am. That's why I wanted to bring this up.
Well, I would say oversaturation isn't necessarily ruining a character, for the instance, Batman. And depending on what... Now, if they were all canon, which I don't know how that would happen, because that would mean he's...
Titans United cannot be canon alongside Task Force Z and the other...
Well, no, Task Force Z definitely is not canon, and neither is the other Suicide Squad, because that is a Black Label book. So
but the thing with Task Force
canon.
Z is they are referencing Arkham Asylum and the Joker War.
Right.
So if anything, that's more canon than apparently Titans United.
Not necessarily, because you can have something that's out of canon, but still based off of other events in comics.
Okay.
It's just
I'm
like
just going off what the internet's
book
having a lot of debates about Task Force Z, and it's
sure. There's definitely no way in canon Red Hood is leading a government-sanctioned supervillain zombie squad. I'm gonna say that right now.
I'm waiting for the next event. Task Force Z
They show up. Jason, where have you been? It's a long story. I don't really want to talk about it.
All those other stories, I wasn't doing those. I was doing the zombie one.
Yeah. I was actually in the zombie one the whole time.
Could you picture that? Just trying to explain that one.
Yeah.
Zombie Bane, and I think Man-Bat's dead now, but...
I think so.
And so is Arkham Knight's dead, which I thought she was alive in Urban Knights, but apparently not.
No, she's dead. That's what I'm saying. I really don't think it's canon.
I said I was thinking, but everyone online's like, no, it is in canon.
Well,
Task
the
Force
internet's
Z,
never wrong.
Task Force Z is the in canon Red Hood storyline right now.
Wait a minute, the internet's always wrong.
Titans United,
like
I feel like
50-50.
could be functional because I guess in theory,
I don't know what Titans United is. I don't know that one.
It's the cast from the show, but they're doing a normal Titan story.
Oh, okay. So that one can't be canon then.
Why
can
not?
it? If
All
it's the ones from the show.
Right, but all those characters in the show are also in Teen Titans Academy.
Oh, okay. So it's not on the show. It's just the characters from the show. They're using
and they're
the
doing
same
an
character.
adventure.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay. I got
so
you.
it very much could be like, well, here's us teaching students, but by day we're doing
I got
our
you.
adventures.
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. Wouldn't
So-
it be by day they're teaching the students? What kind of school is only at night for teenagers?
I don't know. One of the kids is like a half man-bat child. I don't know reading that
that's
one,
fair. That's
but
No, so yeah, I would say oversaturation isn't necessarily the same as ruined. It can be if they overdo it, such as I honestly I think they did way too much with the Batman Who Laughs, and that kind of lost its allure after the 7 years where he showed up every issue.
Did you
In
read the
every
Batman Who Laughs Fortnite episode? or issue?
No, of course not. Why would you
Okay.
even ask me that question?
When he shows up, they literally comment, "Isn't he dead?" And they're like, "Well, he just came back." They literally just say, "Oh, he just
But
came
it's
back."
Fortnite. I mean, it doesn't count.
Well, no,
I know it does count.
I was like, they're
but it
trying to
doesn't
say
count.
it's in continuity.
I
right
know,
now.
but it doesn't count. All right,
Because
let's
they're
all be clear
referencing
on
Dark
this
Knight
now.
Metal. Like they say something about, wasn't he a god or something? Like, oh yeah, that's over.
I know it counts, but it don't count. All right.
Like the Fortnite Thor episode. or
Exactly.
issue.
Like it counts, but it don't count. So yeah, I would say if you go that route, but just having Red Hood in a bunch of things, because the thing is he's popular nowadays, so just putting him in a bunch of things won't necessarily ruin him. I hope that, I mean, because Harley was like that for the longest time.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't say Harley is ruined. I would say she has definitely lost some of her appeal, I guess. And
Because now she just shows up all the time.
and that's the thing, and they send her in so many different directions is the problem, where it's just like, well, in some she's still evil, but in some she wants to be Batman's sidekick, and in some she likes this, and in some she's like that. And so, yeah, that's, I at least with Red Hood, he's roughly the same in every book.
Yeah, but is that good or bad, though? I mean, like, we just have anti-hero Batman,
Well, I mean...
and we also have Grim Knight and Batman Who Laughs.
Well, yeah. And
But this is the good guy one.
Ghostmaker is also around.
Yeah.
He does kind of the same thing. But no, I would say they need to be very careful about it. I wouldn't say he's ruined yet, but they definitely need to be careful about it.
Okay.
With the constantly putting him in stuff.
Because, okay, so I got into Red Hood when he's first introduced. Him and Winter Soldier are both introduced as the exact same concept.
Essentially, yeah.
Where they were, the old friend has come back, or old sidekick has come back as a villain, causing problems for the hero. And then they both have slowly become anti-heroes over time. At this point, I think in comics, like Winter Soldier's not even...
He's not even anti-hero anymore. Now he's just like, hey, Bucky, don't shoot him in the face, all right? And he's like, okay, guys.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, Bucky's just gone all the way over. Do you think that by putting Red Hood into so many things as an anti-hero, we've gone away from... Because he started as the villain, to
Yes.
anti-hero that still fought against the Bat family.
Right, yeah. He was like, I stop villains, but I also like to punch Batman every now and then.
Well, I mean, even in Rebirth, like he would get along with them, but then we get a fight of Batman versus Red Hood.
Right, because they
You know,
always disagreed about stuff.
Right, and all the way up to Urban Legends, they were arguing and disagreeing with the Chip Zdarsky run. Now we're moving to where he's just running so many different teams and being like the focal point. Do you think we're going to move into a realm where we're getting rid of what makes Red Hood Red Hood? Now he's just going to be the Batman with guns because that worked. People like that.
I mean, it's possible, and that would be what I'd say would go into more of a ruined, a diluted version of Red Hood, which is kind of what they've done in a sense with like Harley, but then they kind of moved her into a different direction. For a while, she was just kind of diluted Harley. And then they moved her into more, now she wants to be a full-on good guy. So it's possible they could do the same thing with Red Hood. I don't know.
Yeah, using Harley as the example, they went from Harley as Joker's sidekick to Harley recognizes her abusive relationship.
Right.
Joins
She's
Suicide
still
Squad.
evil.
Right, but she was still evil. She was on Suicide
yeah.
Squad. Then they started that like out of continuity but in continuity Amanda
Right.
Connor run that no
Right.
one knows where it fits, if it even does. Where she's on Long Island.
Yeah.
Running apartment building for carnies.
Yeah. Yes. What's the problem?
That comic went on for so long.
And made perfect sense 100% of the time.
So
If you take it as Harley's inner monologue.
that whole comic is just in Harley's head the whole time.
Yes.
But then Harley got the sci-fi show, which made her even more popular and kind of more solidifying.
Sci-fi show.
The Harley Quinn show started as a sci-fi show, then got moved into DC Universe.
Oh,
and now
the
it's HBO
animated.
Max. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay.
Because she wasn't allowed to be used in anything, so she wasn't getting used anywhere. Because early on in the DCEU, WB had the mandate that if you were going to use the character in a movie,
it couldn't be
they
anything
could not
else.
be used
Yeah.
anywhere else.
Which was
That's
a
why
dumb
Arrow
mandate.
existed.
Yeah, it was a dumb mandate.
Yeah. Well, because
really
they even had like
stupid.
hints, like, oh,
Yeah,
look at the crazy girl in the cell. She might be Miss Quinn. Can't even say Harley.
She's got ponytails.
It reminds me, we were just talking about it. If you didn't, do you remember the what happened with the 1999 Spider-Man Unlimited? They had a very similar mandate.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and Saban wasn't allowed to use Spider-Man.
Yeah.
It's like, but they were supposed to make a Spider-Man show.
I don't know who does it. Who comes up with this stuff? Like who makes these rules and is like, yeah, that's solid. That's a good idea.
Okay, we're not going to let you use Spider-Man, but do your thing. Do your thing.
Yeah. You'll be all right.
But that's what kind of happened with Harley. She got the show, then they kind of solidified the relationship with Poison Ivy, finally solidified it in the comic, and they weren't just the best of pals that share a bed and underwear.
They were the best of pals they were like dating in several other books, but none in the main books.
Yeah, the main books would always ignore it.
Yeah, they're friends, really, really close friends.
They just share outfits. That's all it is at this point.
Yeah. Like you do with your really close friends.
I mean, Dan and I share underwear all the time. Dan's unaware.
Just wondering why I kept going missing.
But yeah, no, and so that's kind of what happened with Harley. And the show came out, it all got solidified. They put it in main canon. Right. It was all going through with that kind of a thing. So Harley went through a weird situation where they completely changed her from the Harley that everyone loved in the original 1990s Batman the Animated Series show.
Yeah.
All the way to now, she's asking Batman for a toaster and is in the main line Batman book.
Because she wants to be the new Robin.
I think she'd make a good Robin. Probably a better Robin than Red Hood.
I would think she would probably make a great Robin for like Ghostmaker.
Yeah.
If she became Ghostmaker's sidekick, that would be really good. As a Batman sidekick, I can't
it'd be
see
like
it.
The Odd Couple.
That's what I really like. It would be funny for a couple of issues, and then I feel like it would get old.
You'd just be sitting there like, nope, I'm done with this.
Yeah, like
Can we just kick Harley to the curb? We're done with this one.
It's like when Batman and Red Hood actually team up together. It's funny for a couple of issues because they argue or whatever, but like actually having it so Red Hood would work alongside Batman all the time wouldn't be interesting.
Well, I mean, didn't they try that for a little while when he became Wingman and Batman Incorporated?
Yes, and even then it was only a couple issues, and then it was like it didn't work. So Red Hood went off and did his own thing.
And his little motorcycle.
Yeah, Wingman, such a terrible name.
I loved in the Red Hood storyline when they brought back Wingman.
Yeah,
like they brought back Wingman as his father being Wingman, capturing him and like torturing him because he wouldn't go back to Gotham. And I was just sitting there, and I love that Red Hood run, but that segment, I'm just like, what is even happening?
But overall, that is what I would say. Like, I wouldn't say they're ruining him yet, but if they start like trying to dilute what makes Red Hood, which is that he is outside the Batman family and it is his own thing, but he's still trying to be good some of the time, but it's cool with kneecapping people. It wouldn't work. If you just wanted to make him Nightwing, it just wouldn't work.
I mean, why not just make him Nightwing?
Because we already have a Nightwing.
Oh, true.
They tried making other Nightwings before. It was awful. We don't speak of it.
So how far would be too far with Red Hood? To the point where you're like, they have ruined Red Hood. He is in too much stuff.
12 bucks.
If he's in every
Are you
Batman
asking
book?
me to quantify it?
No, like what changes to the character? We get to the point where you're like, I don't want to read Red Hood anymore.
Well, because
I feel like they're trying to make him more family friendly is what they're trying to do.
Well, and that's where they
he doesn't use his guns. He's
the
working
point of
with
Red
these.
Hood is that he on one hand believes in Batman's mission, but not the way he goes about it.
Right.
That's what makes Red Hood interesting.
But now in all these latest books, he's kind of doing Batman's mission.
Right. Well, he was always doing Batman's mission, just with guns.
Right, but they've kind of
And
removed the
kneecapping
guns from the
Joker.
equations that I'm saying.
Right.
Like in Titans United, which you haven't read yet. He's really not doing anything with the guns. And his only
but
role...
they're there for show.
But he's only really in the book to fight with Superboy. Like that's literally, I think the only thing he's done in that book for the first 2 or 3 issues is argue with Superboy.
Yeah.
and pretty much call him useless. And I think it's just supposed to be the catalyst. But like he's not doing Red Hood stuff. He's literally just hanging out with the Titans.
And he's hanging out with the Titans. They're trying to do it like the show.
But even in the show, he's at least shooting people. He killed Hank in the show.
I mean, Hank had it coming. It's kind of
You're not wrong. I mean,
a dick.
Hawk and Dove have not been relevant for a very long time.
Have you seen Dove though? Anyway, yeah, I mean that's the thing. Trying to put him on a team, but like having Red Hood on the Titans wouldn't work. It doesn't make any sense. Having him on the Outlaws makes sense because it's a bunch of on the fringe heroes who don't necessarily follow the rules, almost like Outlaws.
So you're saying that by putting Red Hood on teams where he wouldn't function just to get him out there, doesn't really ruin him because you can kind of ignore that as being a team-based thing.
Right, yeah. So, but if like Jason was like, I'm now a member of the Justice League. Me and Superman hang out all the time.
He's okay with me.
Wouldn't work. Like, that wouldn't work. It doesn't make any sense. So that's when you would start ruining him, I think. To alter his character to make him fit into a group of heroes that doesn't make any sense, sure.
So do you think his appearance in Urban Legends, Task Force Z, and the other Suicide
Urban
Squad...
Legends is still just, it's Red Hood as Red Hood. It's just farther in the future.
Right. No, but I'm just saying, like, those portrayals so far that we have, him and that, Task Force Z, and the Suicide Squad...
Those are all in line with this character, I would think. Yeah.
And you can ignore Titans United because it may or may not even be in continuity.
Right. They were just like, we're going to capitalize on the Titan show that some people watch.
Me and Dan watch it. It's really good.
I said some people.
And if you want to hear our reviews on it, go check out Absolutely Marvel and DC in the comments down below.
I said some people.
Right.
You guys are some people.
We're some people. Yeah, I know.
Make it sound like you don't count. Or I was implying you didn't count.
I am implying that we don't
That's
count.
fair. So then, that's what I would say. There's your answer. Boom. 12 books.
12 books.
I'm quantifying
That's
it.
the line.
And if he's in 12 books at the same time, it's too much.
So... do you think if they were to take Red Hood and make him a main cast of main Batman book, Joshua Williamson taking over in 118, puts Red Hood in that book as a main cast member, and he doesn't use the guns,
you could be a main,
and he doesn't argue with Batman. Would you say that?
Well, that would, I wouldn't say he's ruined at that point, but it's not being true to his character.
Okay.
That's what I would say. Because he could be a main cast character and still be true to his character.
Right.
It's just like every issue, Batman has to go argue with Jason about shooting people again. God, we talked about this yesterday.
All right, look, I said I'd stop at the Penguin. I lied. Because I lied because of a portal. Today's podcast is sponsored by HBO Max. That's right, HBO Max, your #1 streaming platform for DC content such as Wonder Woman, Justice League, Suicide Squad, Harley Quinn the Animated Series, Titans, Young Justice, and more. Personally, I've been rewatching Batman the Animated Series, one of my favorite cartoons of all time. And HBO Max has a ton of additional movies and shows to choose from as well, including some movies the same day that they hit theaters, such as the recent Dune movie, which is great and you should check it out, by the way. Stream all of these titles and more from your favorite devices and even download top titles to watch on the go. Check out some of the best superhero content and so much more only on HBO Max. Go to hbom.ax/comicsmax to sign up. That's hbom.ax/comicsmax, COMICSMAX, and sign up now with the link in the description to get into the action. This week's episode is sponsored by Arcane, a Netflix original series from the creators of League of Legends. Arcane is a 9-episode, 3-part miniseries that follows the story of 2 young girls, Vi and Powder, born in the Undercity beneath Piltover. Their eagerness to prove themselves will set in motion a series of events that will take their relationship to its breaking point and transform them forever. Witness the animation event of the year to see the champions that we know and love like never before. Vi, Jinx, Heimerdinger, Jace, their stories will all intertwine in this action-packed series. Whether you're a longtime League player or you're brand new to Runeterra, Arcane serves as a perfect introduction to the vast world of League of Legends, focusing on the origins of some of the most iconic characters, and dive into the storylines behind one of the most played games of all time. Discover the secrets of Piltover and its Undercity, and prepare for the epic battle that is only just beginning. Arcane is now streaming exclusively on Netflix. All right, now that we're back, there is a follow-up question.
So, what is it, Ben?
We haven't been debating this for the last couple of minutes because I forgot what I was going to say.
This is wee bullshit, Ben.
I sometimes dislike you, Andy.
Sometimes. At least I'm true to my character.
Oh, call back. literally like 2 minutes ago before the recording.
Yeah.
Okay, so the question I was going to have following up with this. Okay, so let's take Red Hood out of the equation. Why do you think Red Hood is suddenly getting the spotlight everywhere?
That is a good question. Actually, I don't know.
Because I was going to say, because we have characters like Nightwing that have had a fan base since the 80s.
But to be fair, Nightwing kind of had his moment where, he was Batman in like 8 books at one point.
Yeah, but not the
same. He was
same-
in Batman International.
But now he's on a TV show. Like the show Titans is
He's
about
got his
Nightwing.
own book.
So
There
like,
was,
why
8
isn't Nightwing getting
Nightwings
into,
at one point?
Why isn't Nightwing on more books? Wouldn't it make more sense and be more interesting for Nightwing to lead a Suicide Squad, and then you put Batgirl in charge of the zombies, and then you
Now, Nightwing wouldn't lead the Suicide Squad though. He would find some way to get out of it.
right? But that could be the book. He's trying to get out of it.
I mean, I guess, but hypothetically,
Red Hood's just kind of like cool.
other than flat out. Well, I mean, it's the same as like, why wouldn't Batman lead a Suicide Squad?
Well, because he just makes his own.
No, yeah, his Suicide Squad was terrible. It was just the worst Suicide Squad.
It's like, Batman's gonna make a Suicide Squad.
It was
Have you
like-
heard of these people? No.
It was like a Suicide Squad if it was made by like Tom King. That's how bad it was.
Who was on that team real quick? It was Mime, wasn't it? Mime?
Honestly, I've stricken it from my memory. So it's the same reason
Someone had a boat.
that Batman isn't randomly leading a Suicide Squad, because it's like, to get Jason, who already leads groups like the Outlaws and stuff and uses guns and hypothetically not only could be arrested for being a vigilante, but also just flat out murdering people, that would work. Like,
Okay.
at the most, you're going to get Batman because he beats up people, and the same with Nightwing. You know what I'm saying? And Nightwing already has a team he leads, and it's the Titans, and they're during the day and things like that. Like, it works. It makes sense. Having Nightwing lead a Suicide Squad, which could be an interesting story.
Yeah, 'cause it'd
but
be him trying to
doesn't
get out of it the whole
necessarily
time.
fit the mold very well.
I mean, I would agree with you if we didn't
He
just
would
have
probably allow himself to get blown up before he killed somebody.
that. I could see, which
Where
would make for an
Jason probably
interesting story.
wouldn't, yeah.
But
Well,
like,
I'd be like,
they
2
just did
pages, be like,
Superboy
do
on
it.
it.
He's like,
I
I'm
know.
not gonna, and he blows up his head.
They just did Superboy on it. Who you'd be like, that never worked.
Was
I
it
know it was
Superboy?
Match in the
Yeah,
end,
yeah.
but he had the memories of Connor. Like he was thinking he was Connor the whole time.
Until he figured it out and then immediately devolved. Me know I'm Superboy.
that was the
Wait, why is he talking like that all of a sudden?
He was literally perfectly fine.
Me grammar was good.
That would make no sense. Where he just mentally they broke him and he turned pale white.
Yep.
And-
And his super symbol was suddenly backwards.
Was it a
Doesn't make
hologram
any
over him the
sense.
whole time?
He just like, I actually know, you know what? I think he did actually turn the t-shirt inside out as the thing.
Did he?
I
Okay.
think there was a
I
scene where he
liked
did
the
that.
reveal of that, but
Yeah.
you're right. Why did his grammar
Yeah, suddenly
revert?
revert.
And why did his skin go white? And like, oh, fine, I'll change my shirt around.
Fine. Now I'm backwards Superboy.
So what I'm saying is, like, but why is Red Hood suddenly so popular? Because like Arkham Knight came out and everyone's like, oh, Red Hood's a cool character, and then he went back into nothing.
Right.
But now he's in a TV show that is kind of not doing great things with his character, and he's showing up everywhere in the comics.
I mean, honestly, it's probably one of the reasons he's probably in so many comics is because he's in the TV show.
Do you think so?
I do.
Because he's always had a fan base.
Yeah. But because he's in the TV show, now DC's like, we got to really push Red Hood. He's the big thing for this season, so we're going to push him and put him in a bunch of books.
Because I was going to say, because
Called
Nightwing.
marketing.
I was going to say, because Nightwing's also in there, and so is Batgirl.
Right.
But yeah, if DC at headquarters was like, Red Hood is going to be the big thing to push the show. So we want everyone to think Red Hood.
Season.
Yeah. Which is weird because it actually wasn't. Turned out to be Scarecrow, but whatever.
I mean, that tracks.
Scarecrow was manipulating Jason.
Right.
That was the plot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which has been done before.
They also, this is kind of spoilers for the Titan season, but they did the one thing we've always asked. Why didn't Batman kill the Joker? Because he, killed Jason?
Yeah.
Well, here Batman did. So when they finally confronted each other, it was, did you do it for me? Yes. That's the talk.
Thanks, Batman.
It was like they
He's
sat
like,
around.
All right, I'm Robin again. Let's do this. Woo.
It was so weird.
It's all I
Because it's
needed.
like, okay, so you, in some form of continuity, you finally had Batman kill the Joker for the sake of Jason Todd.
Which makes sense.
Right. And it's like, okay, and they're going to finally have that talk after years of wanting to know what that talk would actually look like. Batman finally breaking his oath. We don't get the talk, just the acknowledgement of, did you do it for me? Yes. Okay.
Fantastic.
It's like the screenwriters were like, we can leave it on that, right?
Yeah, solid.
They don't need to have any kind. Fans haven't been waiting for this for 14 years.
It's been longer than 14 years. He
Didn't he
died
call
in
it
the 80s.
No, but when he came back as Red Hood. Because that's when he started asking that
It
question.
was like early 2000s.
I thought it was like 2007, 2008.
I don't think so. I think it was like 2002 or 3 years.
That early?
Maybe. I don't know. I'd have to look
It's
it
been
up.
15 to 20 years that Red Hood has
It's
been
been a
around.
certain
at this point.
amount of time.
So you think entirely right now it has nothing to do with the popularity of the character itself. It's that DC wants you
Oh, yeah.
to like Red Hood.
Yes, 100%.
So we get all the different versions. We get the one arguing with Superboy. We get the one trying to be a good guy in the zombie team. We get the one leading the
Yeah.
Suicide Squad. We get the one making amends with Batman. We get...
Yeah.
So there's a lot of Red Hoods going on right
a lot
now.
of Red Hoods.
We got the one that really wants to
But
get
even-
with Barbara Gordon, but the note falls off the door and slips under the door.
Yeah, that was sad. It was really sad. But that was not canon anyway, so it doesn't matter.
But it was really sad because it's just the note went away and you're like, oh.
And then he never brought it up again. I know
Ever.
he said he wouldn't in the note, but like, you think maybe one time he got drunk at a party or something. It was like, you couldn't even just said no?
Honestly, yeah, like 5 years down the road, they're
Yeah.
all drinking in the Batcave.
Yeah.
Like, come on, Barbara. You couldn't even respond.
the note, a little like a check yes or no kind of thing.
Did you
they're
see
little
that?
kids.
They just beat
I like you. Do you like me? Check yes or no. And then a bat symbol at the bottom.
Bat symbol with two guns on the wings, though.
yeah.
So she knows that it's not Batman.
Right, yeah.
Because there's always that continuity, too, where Batman,
is true.
got with...
That was a Bruce Timm thing.
Yeah,
He
that
really
was-
wanted them to get together.
I don't know why.
I don't
That was
know.
so weird.
Yeah.
Okay, I can say that. So at what point do you think we're going to get Nightwing and everything? Because it feels like now that Dan DiDio's gone, they like Nightwing again because they put Tom Taylor on the book and gave him his name back.
That is true. You also think about that because like when the Titan show started and you're like, well, why didn't they do a bunch of Nightwing stuff? Technically, he wasn't Nightwing at that point.
No.
When the Titan show started, he was Rick Grayson
That
with like 4 different other Nightwings. Who one was a
inherently,
firefighter
that
or
wasn't a
something.
bad idea.
Yes, it was.
The bad idea was
No,
to
it was
go
terrible.
30-something issues.
It
with
was a horrible
That
idea.
could have been but I'm saying that could have been a single arc. A single arc.
Maybe.
He gets his memories back because in the first issue of that, they establish Alfred knows where you are, Batman knows where you are. Here's all the stuff. That arc would have been fine, where he kind of remembers himself.
Okay.
30-something issues and making the Nightwing team as Rick Grayson. No, that was not good.
That was not good. Yeah, the whole Rick Grayson thing wasn't good. I'm sorry.
But if
He's
it was
dumb.
one arc, you would have been like, that was a weird story, but it's over.
Because it wouldn't make any sense. All right, never mind. That's not what the show is about. We're not going to go on for that.
No, we got to go on tangents about Nightwing. I'm asking about Nightwing, so why doesn't it make sense?
Okay, so why doesn't it make sense? So he gets shot in the head,
Right.
forgets he's Dick Grayson, and chooses a name that is very similar to his own name and keeps the last name. Sure, okay. He then moves back to Bloodhaven, the town he is from.
Right. I don't see any issues.
And then is like, okay, everyone's telling me I'm a superhero, but I just don't feel that anymore. So I'm going to then train a new group of superheroes.
As a
which
taxi
is
driver.
Which is a mission I no longer believe in. But sure, yeah, I'll do it. It doesn't make any sense.
I got one more to throw in here
All right,
for
go
you.
ahead, go ahead.
He had access to all of Batman and Alfred's funds and
Right.
turned it all down because he didn't remember them.
Right. Yeah, because I'll turn away money because I don't really remember these people anymore.
Right.
I will move back to the city that's right next door, and then I'll also show up for the funeral of Alfred, even though I don't remember him, and I'll have a heart-to-heart with Bruce, who I don't remember.
What I loved about the money thing is it's not like he was like trying to denounce his prior life or anything like that. It was literally like a medical thing. You literally got amnesia. And this billionaire, multi-billionaire is like,
Right.
we want to help you get your memories back.
No.
Even if you don't want to be a
I'm gonna go
superhero,
drive a taxi.
I'm going to give you all this money to get the medical help you need.
Yeah, no, I don't want to do that. That's stupid. You dress up like a bat, you're dumb. Like, it just didn't make any sense. It wasn't a good plot.
It was a lot of leaps, a lot of suspension of belief to get to.
And I'm cool with a guy dressing up in tight leather and jumping around rooftops. I can 100% get behind that. That sounded weird. But
No, it's not. We're talking about Nightwing. Of all the characters.
the leaps in logic for that whole Rick Grayson thing didn't make any sense. Anyway, Red Hood, I don't think is ruined yet, but possibly could be soon.
Well, I'm saying, like, so what do you
Back
think?
on topic.
So, okay, using this as an example,
Boom. Yes.
Batgirl's got the movie coming out. I think
Right.
it's an HBO Max exclusive,
I
but
honestly, I
whatever
don't
it turns out
remember,
to be. Do you foresee suddenly Barbara popping up across
Yes,
the board
I
in
do.
every book?
I do.
What blows my
When
mind
that comes around, we're going to get Batgirl one-shots. We're going to get a Batgirl black label.
Batgirls.
Batgirls. Well, no, this will be a black label one. So we're getting a Batgirl black label. We'll get Batgirls in the normal one. We'll have Oracle doing stuff in other books. We're going to get a lot of
do you think at that
Batgirls.
time it'll ruin her? if they just shove her into
because
everything.
it's going to do like they always do when anything comes out. They double down on all of the various books with them, and then when the movie goes away, it'll start shrinking down until they're only in one
She's
book.
back
again.
on her
Yeah.
solo Batgirl.
That's how it
book.
always works.
Yeah. All right. Well,
It's just with Batman, they haven't shrunk back down. They're still waiting.
no, I feel
We
like
keep getting new Batman movies, so they can't.
they just keep going.
We got to keep going with it.
What's Batman in? Oh, he's not even in costume in Titans. Do double Batman books.
It's just more Batman books. It's easier that way.
He showed up in Zack Snyder's thing. Yeah. Do more Batman books.
Batman books. We got a new Black Label thing. 90% Batman.
I want to argue, but I read most of those Batman books.
And most, it's probably like 50-50 or good.
Huh?
I said it's probably about 50-50 or actually good.
I like the Batman books, and I like Red Hood, and I like Nightwing, and I like Batgirl when they're just being the urban level superheroes.
Yes. Yeah.
They're not dealing with. I don't mind him on the Justice League and having that one crazy storyline.
Sure.
But it's the same thing with Red Hood. I like him when he's just being Red Hood, not leading zombies and not leading the Suicide Squad. You know, when he's just.
Although I do like the Suicide Squad one.
Well, I don't know. I didn't know that one even existed, so I
it's
gotta
really
read that
good. They
one.
go after the Joker.
Because him and Titans United is like, why did you even put him here? You could have had beat.
'Cause he's on the
I know,
show.
he's on the show. He's on the
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
I know. And he hates everyone, which is kind of like he's literally
Why
arguing.
are you
with,
even here then?
Exactly.
Get on your motorcycle, go to the ammo store, and leave.
It always reminds me of like whenever that kind of thing happens. Just at one point we had a friend who would always come over and just complain about everything we do, and I just confronted him and I was just like, "Why are you even here? This is what we do. Why are you coming over?"
Guys, you guys keep punching the supervillains in the face. Have you ever tried shooting them?
So anyway,
lot
this has
more
been
permanent.
Comics Experiment. Let me know if you like this more on point kind of an episode where it's just two hosts talking about things.
Point.
Well, it gets a little more off crazy if we have
Right.
Dan also here.
That's true, I
Because he'd
suppose.
wear the red hood.
I mean, he does have currently a red hood on.
That was the joke. Yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching today's episode of Comics Experiment. My name is Benny. That is Andy. Check back every Saturday here on the YouTube channel. If we have it, for those who are wondering why we didn't film last week, we literally did not have internet. We showed up, prepped for the show, and did not have internet to live stream our podcast.
Was that last week?
That was last week, wasn't it? That was last week, yeah.
No, we played last week.
Did we?
Yeah.
Oh,
'Cause of
yeah.
the cheetah thing, and you're being really weird.
Anyway, guys, we are trying to get these out on the Saturdays. That's the ultimate goal with these. Sometimes we have hiccups is what I'm getting at. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. We'll be back next week with more. And today's sponsors were...
HBO Max and Arcane, which is currently streaming on Netflix.
Yes. And don't forget about our longtime sponsor.
G Fuel. Use code COMICS at checkout. Save 10% on your order.
And if you enjoy our Dungeons & Dragons games, where can they find our anime-inspired kaiju one, Dan?
Dungeons and Ale. Check it out on YouTube.
I don't have a follow. I was going to keep that joke going. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next time right here.